Hi, Mark. Okay, just one more time. Hi, Mark. Thank you for talking to me. And thank you for saying your name. Now, your request in the comments section or the post on the page was to attempt contact with Mark Haines, who is the young gentleman pictured here. I will read the story, and because obviously this is one that has been around for quite some time, over 30 years I believe. So let's have a look. And there is actually I believe a renewing an appeal for information, so hopefully we can assist. I don't know, I don't make any promises, but of course we'll do what we can to see if he would like to come through and communicate. So Mark Haines, if you are able to, you are welcome. You may be able to speak and give some comfort to your loved ones. Any messages, of course, you'll be able to communicate, and I'll give you a tool to use so that way your voice can be heard, and it's not just, oh, you know, he's saying this and I'm hearing him say that. So I'm going to read the brief story here. The body of 17-year-old Mark Anthony Haines was found on train tracks outside of Tamworth on Saturday the 16th of January 1988. Local police investigated the circumstances surrounding the death at the time, later subject to coronial inquiries, which returned an open finding. Detectives from Oxley Local Area Command are continuing their inquiries into Mark's death under Strike Force Puno in both New South Wales and Queensland. Oxley Local Area Commander, Acting Superintendent Jeffrey Budd, believes there are people out there who know what happened to Mark. Today's announcement demonstrates the New South Wales Government's commitment to providing the New South Wales Police Force with everything that might be required to bring answers to families impacted by unsolved crimes. So it doesn't really say much there. It's just saying we have received some useful information and support from members of the public on this investigation, yet we believe there are still people who know exactly what happened to Mark but are either afraid or unwilling to share that information with police. Mark's family has been suffering for 30 years, caught in a state of ongoing uncertainty about their beloved relative. After 3 decades, his family are desperate for closure at the very least, and they deserve that, and I agree. There is also a note at the bottom: if you have information that may help detectives with information surrounding the circumstances of Mark's death, please do the right thing and call Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. That the family have actually called for a new coronial inquest into his death. It seems very, very fishy, and I can't begin to imagine what anyone going through something like this, no closure, that 30 years, and his uncle doing everything he can to try and bring justice for his nephew. It must be unbearable. I can't imagine. I mean, it's bad enough when you lose somebody close, but then not to have an answer, and for someone to be out there walking around in public, knowing that they've contributed to this young man's passing, and then on top of it tried to make it look like he was hit by a train by laying his body, on train tracks. When I was going to do the live stream last week, I was quite sick, but I did actually, and there is on YouTube a video where a young man has gone out of his way to try and find some answers surrounding that, and he basically had told the story that, how his body was found and the underlying circumstances of a vehicle that was found nearby that was stolen and so on. As they were talking about that, I just couldn't help but, these images were coming to me, and it looked like it may have been an accident. I don't feel like it was intentional at the time. His passing may have been accidental, because I had this image of him being thrown into a boot, people laughing, possibly intoxicated. And if that was like how the accident occurred or how it happened, then that might explain, them going into a panic. But I feel like they were joyriding, probably racing the vehicles or something, I don't know. But I feel like he was in the boot alive, and something's happened in that time, whether it was like the car had, rolled at that point, or God knows what. That's the feeling that I get around it. I feel like they were, I don't feel like he was wanting to participate. It's probably, they were intoxicated, because as I was listening to that, I just kept smelling alcohol, which is usually a sign from spirit that someone is either intoxicated, or they've got, some type of dependency. But it'll be interesting to see what comes through. Now, with every spirit box session, as you know, we must keep an open mind. There may be, as soon as you begin to welcome any type of spirit through, of course you're going to have ones that will like to play games and may divulge something shocking. But I ask that you listen to what comes through. Listen to the intelligent replies. There will be garbage that comes through as well, because whenever you're doing any type of spirit communication, using a tool to offer spirit a vocal way of communicating, that there is other things that, just are completely non-related. You use your better judgment about what is intelligent responses and what isn't. Now, to explain a spirit box, we'll be using this one tonight. A little bit dusty, Karen. And this is the PXB7 on the device, built by Gary Golker, who signed it for me, who I'm absolutely in love with this thing. It's been an absolute amazing tool, because inside this unit it stores like a memory bank, and what happens is, as the spirit box is playing, it stores that in the memory, which means that I could hit this and go back by 10 seconds. If I hit it again, then it goes back by 20 seconds, and so forth. I can, so like if there is something that is said, and we're like, let's listen to that again, that reply, we just hit that, and then we 10 seconds back, we've actually got that repeated. But then we have to refresh it, which means we hit these two buttons here that refreshes and clears that, so that we then continue to receive whatever other communication comes through. So this is this is blowing ITC out of the water, as they say. And ITC is instrumental transcommunication, which is part of what Spirit Box is all about. Now this device here is the PXB7. It is technically a radio, a normal everyday radio, AM FM, and what happens is this is actually designed in such a way that you can press a button and it sweeps. It's sort of like a scanning kind of process, but it doesn't stop when it gets to a station. It just keeps sweeping, and you can have the sweep at various settings, which means that you could have it at 100 milliseconds, which means it's sweeping across those stations that quick that in order to have one voice across, say, 12, maybe 8, 12 radio stations, that would then be considered the paranormal, because on all like 8 to 12 stations you're not going to have the one voice. So what happens is, as it's sweeping, it's breaking up into phonics, if you want to put it that way, and Spirit are able to utilize the phonics in order to provide a response. There will be some phonics that do come through when you do use the Spirit Box as a way of the radio voice itself. There will be songs that are also incorporated into the phonics, which is what it breaks it down to be. So we're going to use this tonight. I also have 2 more of these, and I was actually thinking maybe we can have 2 running at the same time, because if the great thing about Spirit Box is the spirit does not have to be present to be able to use them. So I don't have to go to any particular location to be able to allow Spirit from the other side to work one of these. Now, I know there's going to be skeptics, and let me just say, it's healthy to be skeptic. You have to question everything. That's why I say go in with an open mind, and hopefully we can get Mark to be able to communicate through the Spirit Boxes. The other Spirit Box that I have is this one, which was designed by Andrew Openlander. It is I think it's an Echo Box. It is incredible. It's actually made out of a cigar box with a speaker, and the design, this was actually signed by Andrew Openlander. It was number 63, and this happened to be the first one ever sent to Australia, so I was very honoured to receive that. And apparently I was the first in Australia to get the this one from Gary Golker. Really big deal. The other one that I have is the AGBX3, but I don't know. I haven't really felt that this does anything, but for the hell of it, we'll give it a shot anyway. It is collecting dust. It would make a very good door stopper, and it gave grief to a gentleman who was actually repairing this, because the original maker of this ended up like blocking everyone he sold these things to, and it worked beautifully for a little while, and then it just wouldn't sweep. It would like just sit on it was awful, absolutely awful. So I don't know whether I'll use that or not, but we will see how we go anyway. So just saying a big hello to everybody. Yes, I am having a lovely day. Yes, and I'm sorry about last week. Was it last week? Was it Monday? I can't remember. I know it was one day that I was actually meant to be on, and I just couldn't do it. I was just too washed out. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome Mark Haines, who was 17 when he passed over. God, that's young. And Mark, if you can hear me in the new realm, and I'm just bringing his photo up on there. Mark, if you can hear me in the new world, there was, back in 1988, somebody is responsible for your passing and having this idea to put your body on railway tracks and scatter what was apparently presents around, which were apparently inside that stolen vehicle. I just can't understand the logic, but Mark, if you're able to come through tonight and communicate, I'm giving you an opportunity to do so using this device here. So fingers crossed, everyone. I'm just turning this on. Hopefully it's charged enough. Okay. Mark Haines, can you hear me? If you can hear me, Mark, say Mark. Mark Haines, if you can hear me in the new world, can you say Mark? Can you hear this loud enough? Mark Haines, if you can hear me, say your name, please. Hello? I don't know whether you heard that. Hello. Okay. Can I please speak with Mark Haines? Mark Haines, you were 17 when you left this world. Can you say Mark if you can hear me, as loudly as you can through this device? Mark Haines, can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you say Mark? Okay, good. Mark Haines, can you hear me? My name's Karen. I'm giving you an opportunity from the other side to come through and talk. Can you see your photo on the screen? Just adjust. Okay, let me rewind that. And I'll slow it down. Ooh, I'll just rewind it and slow it down more. That was swearing. Now on radio, They normally don't swear. I'm rewinding it again. One more time. Sounded like they said something bullshit. I'll refresh it. Okay. Mark Haines, can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you say Mark? Let me just adjust. You need to change the sweep. Mark Haines, can you hear me? This is a bit faster, the sweep. Mark Haines, if you can hear me, can you say Mark? Okay, I think I heard him. I'll rewind that. Okay. Mark, my name's Karen. If this is Mark Haines, can you say Karen? Just so I can make contact with you. I welcome you to come through and communicate. I'll rewind that. I'll rewind it again. Slow it down. Mark, is this you? Can you say yes if it's you? I'll rewind it. Yes. One more time and I'll slow it down. Yes. Okay, wonderful. So Mark, thank you so much for coming through and communicating. Can you please tell me who is responsible for your passing? Can you talk loud? Who is responsible for your passing, Mark? Mark, who is responsible for your passing? I'll just reset that. Mark, where did they find your body? Mark, where did they find your body? Where did they find your body? Do you know where they found you? So little. Mark, where did they find your body? Mark, where did they find your body? Rewind that again. Okay, I'm not sure if he said train track. I don't want to put words into... Where were you found? Where were you found, Mark? Mark Haines, I need to communicate with you. Okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will go and just... Mark Haines. Can you speak through one of these devices, please? Here's your chance to speak. Can you come through and communicate through this device? Now if I show you, you'll see it's sweeping. I'm calling out to the other side. Spirits in the new world. Yes, this is real. Did you hear this? I'll rewind it. This is real? Okay. I'll just rewind it again. I'm Mark. Rewind it. I'm Mark. Okay, just one more time. Hi, Mark. Thank you for talking to me. And thank you for saying your name. Mark, you've been on the other side for over 30 years. Your uncle, can you say his name for clarification? What is your uncle's name? What's your uncle's name, Mark? The one who's trying to find out what happened to you. What's your uncle's name? The one who's trying to find out what happened to you. This is a way of confirming that this is Mark. I'm not sure if he said it. I'll rewind that. No, he didn't say it. What's your uncle's name who's trying to find out what happened to you? His last name is Craigie. What is he known as? Uncle who? Yes. Mark Haines. Are you able to communicate still? I know this is something different for you, but this is going to give you a chance to be vocal, to have a voice and say what you want to say from the other side, without anybody putting words in your mouth. Can you say how old you were at the time? You'll need to talk up as loudly as you can through this device so that everyone can hear you. Do you want to say who is responsible for placing you on the train tracks outside of Tamworth? I'll tell you what I'll do, Mark. I'll give you a chance to use another device, because I can't actually feel him around me. So I'm not going to say he's here because I'm not feeling that he's here. That's why I thought I'll use the spirit box, because it doesn't matter where they are, they have a chance to use it. They don't have to be in the same room as me. Okay, so here is another spirit box. Mark Haines, can you come through and say hello through this? The only thing with this is you can't rewind it. Mark Haines, can you hear me? If you can hear me, can you say yes? Can you say your uncle's nickname? Was your passing an accident? Who is responsible for putting you on the tracks? Can you say their name? Were you in the back of the car? Who put you in the back? Was it initially an accident? Did they panic? Well, they said 100%. So they panicked. You're a little hard to hear. Do you know that there is a new investigation into your passing? Okay, I'm not sure if we're getting anything now. Sometimes it's very hard to hear these things. Okay, let's go back. We've got to get certain responses out of him first before I can ask those questions, Denise. One thing at a time, because I'm trying to get some validation. If he can say the uncle's nickname, then I know that I've actually got the right Mark Haines. I have to confirm that first. I can't just go in and just rely on whatever answers are coming through. That's why I thought I would try to create a conversation to try and get him to talk, but you can't force them. You just can't force them to talk if they don't want to. Okay. Okay, Mark, can you hear me? Mark, I'll rewind it. Mark. Okay, Mark, I heard you. Can you say your uncle's first name? What is your uncle's first name or his nickname? What is your uncle's name? He's been doing all he can to try and find out what happened to you for 31 years. It's a long time. He needs answers for you. What is your uncle's name? I just need to validate that first so I know that you are Mark Haines. I need you to validate your uncle's first name or his nickname. Can you repeat that as clearly as possible? Uncle who? Uncle who? Mark. I want it to be clear, Denise. Without a shadow of a doubt. Mark, I know that you're trying really hard, and I really appreciate it. But this is your time to talk. This is your time to give a voice. What is your uncle's nickname? Uncle who? What did you call him? Can you see the picture of your uncle? Don't you think they need some closure, Mark? Mark, can you tell me your uncle's nickname? I need you to speak as loudly and as clearly as you possibly can. I'll rewind that because I think you said it. Duck. I'll rewind it again. Okay. That's really, really good effort there, Mark. Can you tell me who placed the towel under your head when you were laying on the train track? It sounded like a Paul. I'll rewind that. Okay, one more time. Okay. Can you tell me how you passed away, if that's possible? Were you in the back of the vehicle? What crashed? Were they drinking? Or taking drugs? Who is the one who said or suggested to put you on the track? Who was the one who suggested to put you on the track? Can you tell me, Mark, when they placed you on the track, were you still alive? Can I get a yes or a no, Mark? Were you still alive when they placed you on the track? Rewind that. Sounds like I'll slow it down a bit. They put, and I'll rewind it again, slow it more. They put something, I need to rewind that again. Okay, are you trying to say, Mark, that they put you in the trunk? God, he's trying so hard. I'm going to rewind it again. Let me... Okay. I'm sorry, Mark, but it's really hard to understand. I'm trying to... He's repeating it and I refreshed it. I'll do it again. Mark, did they force you into the boot? Were you forced? Rewind that. Sound like he said, yeah, mate. I'll just... Okay. How many were in the car? How many were there? How many were present, Mark? Three. I'm going to rewind that. Three. One more time. Okay. So were there two that carried you or just one? So So if that's the case, then there would have been 2 that carried you and 1 that carried those presents to throw around you. Is that right? Who was the driver? Who was the driver, Mark? Mark, who was the driver? Who was driving the vehicle? Was the driver intoxicated? Can I get a yes or a no? Is there anything you want to say to your uncle? Is there anything you want to say to your uncle? It's okay, Mark. Do you want to bring closure to this for him and the rest of your family? Can you try to talk through this again? I'll rewind that bit. I'll rewind it again. I'm not sure what he's saying. Mark? So, was Paul a friend of yours? Was Paul a friend of yours, Mark? Mark's friend. Okay, rewind it. Okay. Now, does anyone in chat have any questions that you want me to put to Mark? Any questions anyone has? What did Terry have to do with it? What did Terry have to do with your passing, Mark? Friend? Did he assist in putting you on the train track? Is the person who hurt you still alive? Is the one who hurt you still alive? Can you say what Terry had to do with your passing? Did he have anything to do with it? Mark? Did Terry have anything to do with your passing? He left? I'll just rewind that. He left. Do it again. Rewind it, slow it down. Okay. Were you put in the boot of that vehicle? What do you remember of that night? If Terry left, did he come back with anybody? Did Terry come back with anybody? Did Terry come back with anybody on that night? Who? Who did he come back with? Who did Terry come back with? I think he said a name. I'll just rewind that. Jason? Did you say Jason? Just reset that. Did you say Jason? Was there a Jason? Hi. Can you... My Siri turned on, saying I don't see Jason. Okay. Who's Jason? Who's Jason? A kid? Mark, who put the box over you? Who put the white box over you? Everybody. I'll rewind that. Everybody. Rewinding it. Okay. Mark, do you mind if I ask what caused your passing? Did you get hit over the head with something, or was it as a result of the accident? Mark, are you still with me? Mark Haines. Where did you die? Where did you originally pass away? Was that in the boot? Were you in the boot of the vehicle? Was there more than one vehicle? Was there... Okay, I'm going to rewind that. Shut the boot. I'll rewind it again. Shut the boot. Okay. Who put you into the boot? Was that me? I'll rewind it. Sounded like me. I'll rewind it again and slow it down. Either me or Mick. It definitely sounded like me. Did you say you put yourself in the boot? Is that a yes or a no? Did you put yourself in the boot? Were you forced in and just climbed in because you were being told to? Someone told him. Okay, so rewind it, slow it down. Rewind it again. Terry told me. Okay. Were you just joyriding, were you? Rewind it. Yes. Okay. So this was an accident, Mark, is that right? So this all... So this was an accident? Did you suffer at all, Mark, or was it quick? Did it happen quick so that you didn't have to go through much pain or anything? Try to talk through this, Mark. Oh, I just felt something move near me. Was that you, Mark? Did you just move near me? Was that you? Is there anything you can do in this room? Is there anything that you can do in this room? Is there anything that you can do in this room? And that's me moving the camera, by the way. Mark, is there anything you want to say about what happened so that there's some closure? Why would they not contact the hospital? Why wouldn't they take you to a hospital? Why wouldn't they take you to a hospital? Friends wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. Friends wouldn't put a person who they consider a friend on a railway track and try to make it look like an accident or suicide. Aren't you angry about that at all, Mark? That someone would do that? Is there anything you want to say to the person who was driving that night? You've lost all your life here. Your life was only beginning, Mark, and they've robbed that from you. You've missed out on having a wife and family. That's really sad. Has the person who was, or persons, I'll rewind that. I'm going to rewind that again, slow it down. I should be dead. I'll rewind it again. No, you shouldn't be dead, Mark. You shouldn't be dead. I don't know what to say. He just said I'm dead. Rewind it. Okay. Have you met up with any of your friends on the other side? Or I believe your mother is over on the other side, is that right? Have you met your mother? Have you seen your mother? Not yet. Okay, I'll just rewind that. Not yet. Okay. Mark? If they were to bring somebody to court, like to pay for what's happened to you, who would they be doing that to? If they were to arrest somebody for your passing, who would that person be? Who would that person be? Mark, who would that person be? Your mate? Which mate? Which mate are you referring to? Which mate? Can you say their name out loud? Who would that person be that okay, I need to get my head around the fact that they placed you on the railway track. They were trying to make it look like you were lying on the track and was struck by a train. Who does that, Mark? Friends don't do that. They do. Yeah, obviously, in your case, they do. What do you want to say to them? If you were standing in front of them right now and they could hear you, what would you say to them? I'm going to rewind that, slow it down. That sounded like, I'm proud of you. That's... I'm going to rewind it again and slow it down more. Okay. Was that a sarcastic comment, Mark? Let me ask you this, Mark. Would you had ever done something like that to one of your friends? Would you had ever done anything like that to one of your friends? Can I just get a yes or a no? I'm not proud of you. Could be. Yeah, you could be right. He could have actually said, I'm not proud of you. Did you say, I'm not proud of you? Have you been anywhere near those who were there that night? Has your spirit visited them? Has your spirit visited them, Mark? Can I just get a yes or a no? Are you at peace, Mark? I'm at peace. I'll rewind that and slow it down. I'm all good. I'll rewind it again. I'm at peace. Okay. So you were carried to that track. Did you have anything to drink? Did you have any alcohol or drugs in your system? There was something about a marijuana crop. Were you there that night? Okay. Was there someone watching from the bushes? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Denise. Was there someone watching on from the bushes? What part are you referring to, Denise? What caused the car to have the accident, Mark? What caused the car to have the accident? I'm not sure if any more is coming through. Okay, one last thing, Mark. I asked you before if there was anything you wanted to pass on to your Uncle Duck. Do you want to tell him anything? Love you. I'll rewind that. Oh, I'll rewind it again and slow it down. Love you. He's doing everything he can to try and bring justice to you. Will this happen, Mark? Will someone be arrested for what they've done? Do they know who was behind this? Do the police know already who is responsible? I thought I heard someone say kinda. Kinda. Okay. Alright. Mark, can you give an indication of when the arrest will occur? What month will they be arrested? Do you know that? What month will they be arrested? No idea, Kaylee. Why haven't you seen your mum? Why haven't you seen your mum, Mark? Why haven't you seen your mum? Okay. I'll just reset that. Mark, I'm going to go now, but I want to thank you for your time in coming through and communicating as best as you could. Is there anything you want to say as a closing statement or anything? Mark, do you want to say something before we go? What do you want to say? Oh, there is another thing I want to ask you. That the one that will be arrested, where do they live? What state? Can you repeat that, please? Where do they live? What state? Sounded like Goulburn. I'll just rewind that. Oh, okay, it went all fuzzy. Okay. Alright, Mark, I'm going to go now. But thank you so much for your time. And hopefully your uncle will hear you say that you love him. I love you. Here's it again. I'll rewind it. Okay. I've got that. Alright. Anything else you want to say? Everyone's praying for you, Mark. If there is any way that you can give your uncle a sign that you're around, I think that would mean the world to him. You did? I'll rewind that. Do you have some type of way of letting him know that you're around? What will be the sign he'll need to look out for? What will be the sign he will need to look out for? I think he's good. Okay, Mark, I'm going now. just rewind that. Something. I'll rewind it again. Bit hard to. Very, very hard to hear. Okay, Mark, I'm going now. Can you say goodbye? Can you say goodbye? Mark Haines, can you just say goodbye, please? Okay. Alright, I'm going to turn this off now. Alright. Okay, well that was all we could actually get. There was a Paul mentioned, so I don't know whether that means anything or not, but he actually did say Paul very, very clear. He also mentioned there was like a Jason or something, so it sounded like Jason to me. And his message to his uncle was so beautiful and clear that, you know, just to hear his voice say, I love you. Hopefully, if there is no other closure, that alone is going to give him some comfort in knowing that all his efforts haven't been in vain, and that his nephew does love him. So hopefully when I do the translating, transcribing, not translating, I'll be wearing headphones to try and listen harder to what is coming through. I do recommend, if you listen back to this, to wear headphones. This way you'll be able to actually hear a little bit more clearer. So I thought it was a very interesting session. I needed to make sure that I got that validation of his uncle's name before I could proceed with any other questioning. I tried to sort of get him in conversation, like to bring a flow of conversation, and then asking him continually to say his uncle's name. It's really important to get that validation first before anything else. Yeah, but he seems like a very nice person. Seems like, I mean, everyone's got faults, no one's perfect, but it sounds like he had a lot of love for his uncle. And I can understand then why his uncle would be so adamant in trying to find the answers and just put this to rest. And if, of course, if anyone does know anything, give some closure to the family. Imagine if it were your family or your loved one. You know, do the honourable thing if you are responsible. And do the honourable thing and come forward, because the penalty after you leave this life is going to be a lot harder than any penalty you can get in this lifetime. Anyway, well, that was tonight's live stream, so I hope you all enjoyed it. What is your uncle's name? Mark Haines. I thought I heard him say, yeah, this is him. If this is Mark Haines, whose body was placed on tracks outside of Tamworth, can you say how old you were when this happened? Have you spoken through a spirit box before?